Hello children, good morning. How are you all? Fine. Children, this is first language English to class 10, okay, and you had listened to the lesson, the gift of Magi. Did you? Fine. You enjoyed the first part, right? Shall we continue with our reading? Let's see what happens next, right? Yes children, but before I could go, I want you all to recall. Why did Della save money? Look at the answer. Della saved money to gift Jim. Who was Jim? Fine, her husband. To gift Jim a Christmas present. Very good. Look at the next one now. How has the writer compared Della's hair to Queen of Sheba's jewels? What is the comparison there? How is it related? Yes, you recall. What does the writer say? The writer says that had the Queen of Sheba lived in the flat across the A shaft, okay, recalling the flat where Della lived, yes, had the Queen lived there, Della, what would she do? Della would have let her hair hang out of the window to dry, just to devalue the Majesty's jewels and gifts. Correct? Why did Della count her money thrice? How much did she have? Good. $1.87. But why did she count it thrice? Yes, Della had saved the money. Is it not? She wanted to gift her husband Jim a Christmas present. Good. But she started counting the money. It was $1.87, which was not sufficient to buy a gift to Jim. Correct? What was Della's plan to make arrangement for the extra money she needed? She planned to sell her beautiful long hair. Why? In order to raise money to buy a Christmas gift to Jim. Okay children, go to the next question. Look at that. What was enough for Jim to do to make King Solomon envious? The author says that if King Solomon, who is known for his wisdom, okay, had been the janitor with all his treasures piled up in the basement, what would Jim do? Yes, Jim would have pulled his gold watch every time he passed to make him envious. Okay, fine children. So did you recall? Very good, good. Children, shall we continue with the lesson? Okay, yes. And what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to listen. Where do we start from? Open page number 34. We start from the 19th para. Okay children, did you open your textbook? Page number 34. Start from the 19th para. Listen to the reading now.
She found it at last. It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the stores. And she had turned all of them inside out. It was a platinum fob chain, simple and chaste in design, properly proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by meritorious ornamentation, as all good things should do. It was even worthy of the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that it must be Jim's. It was like him. Quietness and value, the description applied to both. $21 they took from her for it, and she hurried home with the 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim might be properly anxious about the time in any company. Grand as the watch was, he sometimes looked at it on the sleigh on account of the old leather strap that he used in place of a chain. When Della reached home, her intoxication gave way a little to prudence and reason. She got out her curling irons and lightened the gas and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love, which is always a tremendous task. Dear friends, a mammoth task. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny, close-lying curls that made her look wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully and critically. If Jim doesn't kill me, she said to herself, before he takes a second look at me, he will say, I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? At 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove hot and ready to cook the chops. Jim was never late. Della doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard a step on the stair away down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. She had a habit of saying little silent prayers about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, Please God, make him think I am still pretty. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow, he was only 22 and to be burdened with a family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. Jim stopped inside the door, as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly, with that peculiar expression on his face. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. Jim, darling, she cried, don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived to Christmas without giving you a present. I'll grow out again. You won't mind, will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful nice gift I've got for you. You have cut off your hair? Asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet even after the hardest mental labor. Cut it off and sold it, said Della. Don't you like me just as well anyhow? I'm me without my hair, ain't I? Jim looked about the room curiously. You say your hair is gone? He said with an air almost of idiocy. You needn't look for it, she said Della. It's sold. I tell you, sold and gone too. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered. She went on with sudden, serious sweetness. But nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He enfolded Estella. For 10 seconds, let us regard this discreet scrutiny, some inconsequential object in the other direction. $80 a week or $1,000,000 a year. What is the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Magi bought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be illuminated later on. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. "Don't make any mistake, Della," he said. "About me, I don't think there's anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. But if you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first." White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstatic scream of joy, and then alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the lord of the flat. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, that Della had worshipped for long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell, with jewelled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful varnished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers, but the tresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." And then Della leaped up like a little sighing cat and cried, "Ho, ho!" Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull precious metal seemed to flash with the reflection of a bright and ardent spirit. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You will have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his head under the back of his head and smiled. "Dad," said he, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. They are too nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs. And now suppose you put the chops on." The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat whose most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. But in a last word to the wives of these days, Let it be said that of all who give gifts, these two were the wisest. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest. Everywhere they are wisest. They are the Magi.
Yes, children. Did you enjoy reading? Let us learn some content words. Do we start? The first word for you, and here it is, children. Meritorious. What does that mean? Good. Shall we have a sentence for that? And here's a sentence. A wooden building painted to look like marble is meretricious. What does meretricious mean? Yes, it means it is superficially attractive, but it has no real value. Fine. Look at the picture there. That is a wooden building, and it is given a painting of marble, and the finishing is this. But still it's a wooden building. Fine. It has no value. It has no real value. It is superficially attractive. Fine. So that is what meretricious means. Fine, children. Let us go to the next word. On the slide. Fine. What does on the sly mean? I have a sentence for you. Shall we look at it? He drives his mother's car on the sly while she is at work. What does that mean? Mother is at work and this child, the son, is driving his mother's car on the sly. Means exactly, secretly, without his mother's knowledge. Fine. He drives his mother's car. Go to the next one. Ravage. What does ravage mean? Have a look here. The forest was ravaged by fire. Look at the forest. What has happened? Yes, it is ruined. It is wrecked. Fine. Ravaged means ruined. Yes, children. The next one. Mammoth. What does mammoth mean? Yes, you have heard that, right? Look at the sentence here. Cleaning up the city-wide mess is going to be a mammoth task. Wow, it's a great task. Okay. Mammoth also means this. Look at the picture. What is it? It's an animal. It looks like an elephant. That means mammoth. Yes, children. Mammoth means, in this context, huge, extremely large. Fine. And the next one, Coney Island. Yes. What is Coney Island? It is a famous entertainment place in New York. It looks like this. Go to the next one. Tress. What does tress mean? Look at the picture here. Sheila is combing her daughter's dark tresses. It means to say hair. Good. Tress means hair. The person there is communicating. They are communicating with each other. Here you see a post box. Okay. What is this? Fine. A Gmail. Okay. It's an email. Okay. It's a email. And next one, you have a smartphone. Okay. What is this? Tring tring. Those days we had this telephone. Is it not? What is this? Instagram. Ho ho, I hear most of them shouting. Fine, Instagram. You are all communicating here, is it? Through this? Fine. What is this? You are all aware of this. Facebook. Good. And this? Everybody knows. It's WhatsApp. Okay. And what about this, children? Have you seen this? It's a fax machine. Fine. Yes. What are all this? These are all modes of communication. They are all modes used to communicate. Yes. I was telling you, I will take up one of the writing skill. Under that, I wish to take up letter writing. Do you write letters? Yes, we write letters. What is a letter then? A letter is a form of written communication between two persons or two parties on a particular topic, matter, issue or an incident. It serves the purpose of documentation as well. Right, children? Children, you have got types of letters. You have come across two types of letters. What is it? One is the formal letter, the other one is the informal letter. To whom do you write formal letter, children? Have a look at this. You write a formal letter to your teacher or a headmaster, or to the principal, bank officials, government officials, corporate officials, editor of newspapers, political authorities. Is it not? And what about informal letters? Whom do you address it to? We address it to the grandparents, father or mother, parents, brother or sister, uncle or aunt, niece or nephew, friends, relatives. Is it not, children? And children, today let us have a look at this format of an informal letter. Okay, children, you have some here. What is this? It starts with the body of the letter, is it? Subscription? Salutation? Oh, it's not ordered, signature. What have we to do? There's a from address as well. Date. Shall we arrange it? We start. Children, what is it first? From address, date. Children, I want you to recall again. It's an informal letter. Fine. From address, date followed by salutation. Next you have body of the letter, subscription and signature. Yes, children, this is how you write a informal letter. And children, I want you to imagine as Sapna or Sandesh, who is studying in Oxford High School, Hobli. Okay, you have taken down your books in your hand, have you? Yes, I want you to note down, or later watch it. It's streamed on YouTube as well. Fine, watch it there. I want you all to write a letter to your friend describing about your studies during the lockdown period. Yes, I start, children. Have a quick look at this. Who is the one who is writing the letter? I imagine I am Sapna, who is studying in Oxford High School, Mandya. Children, have this in mind. You are not supposed to write your name anywhere in the letter. Okay, you start with the name that is given there. Okay, you have to imagine yourself to be Sapna or Sandesh. That is what was asked, right? Children, and this is the from address. Later, you write the date. Okay, I have written the date as 19/10/2020 and this is the date. Then you start with Dear Rajesh. I have a clarification here. Some of you might ask, ma'am, in school we start only with the place and the date. Are we right? Yes, you are right, children. And some of you may ask, madam, in school few of us write it on the right hand side. The from address we write it on the right hand side followed by the date, and later to the left hand side we write Dear Rajesh, whoever it is we are addressing it to. Am I right? That is your query, right? Yes, children. That was the old method of writing. Okay, now we see that in computers, okay, mails, we find that the letter is aligned to the left hand side. So, I have followed the format here. I have aligned my letters to the left hand side. Okay, children, you can follow this. Fine. And I go now, and this is Dear Rajesh. It is called as the salutation. Next comes the body of the letter. I have started this way. Hi, how are you? How are all at home? How are you spending your time during this period of lockdown? Are you also engaged on online classes? We have regular online classes here as well. The classes are in fact interesting. The only thing is we miss our friends and the gala time we used to have when the teacher is absent from the period. Okay, this is the body of the letter. It still continues. I am waiting to go back to class. Yes, I see you all asking the same question. We want to go back to class and attend the real classroom teaching. Is it? We can have face-to-face contact with our teachers and also can chat with our friends. Are you not chatting now? Be frank. You have been chatting, is it not? Yes, Snapchats, WhatsApp, Instagram. Look at the way you are chatting. Good children. Fine. Well, pen me few of your opinion about the lockdown period. How are you enjoying your classes? Waiting for your letter. Convey my wishes to all at home. See you. Bye for now. Children, the last line, that is, convey my wishes to all at home. Waiting for your letter. See you. Bye for now. It is called as a complimentary close. Fine. Yes, children. This is the body of the letter. And then you write your loving friend. Here you have to note one thing, children. Your loving friend, okay, Y is in capital letters, L, loving is in small letter, friend, F is also in small letter, and after subscription we have a signature, okay. Underneath the signature we write our name to make it more clear, okay. That is the signature part. This is the format of an informal letter. Yes, children. And look at the format of a formal letter now. And this is not arranged as well. It starts with body of the letter, subscription, salutation, signature, from address, subject, then date to address. Is it organized? No. Shall we do it? Yes. You start from address followed by date. Let this be very clear, children. Okay. Next one is to address. You have salutation, subject, then you have body of the letter followed by subscription and the signature. This is the format of a formal letter. Okay, children. Now, if you have understood this, there is a task for you. Take it down. Okay. Imagine you are Rahul or Rashmi studying in 10th standard, Government High School, Ramohalli, Bangalore. Okay. You have to write a letter to the bank manager informing him to transfer your saving bank account to Ramnagara branch. Okay, children. Why? Because you are shifting along with your family members to Ramnagara town. Yes, children. So, will you do that? Along with that, you have an assignment as well. Note down the questions, children. Noting down. The first one is, why does the narrator compare Della and Jim to the Magi in The Gift of the Magi? Okay. Next one. What are some examples of imagery in The Gift of the Magi? How would you describe Jim and Della's relationship in The Gift of the Magi? Yes, children. So, I think you have followed the lesson. Also letter writing. And children, if you have followed all that, what will you do? You will open your textbook, read it once again, okay, the whole text, and then you will answer the comprehension questions and also the vocabulary and the rest exercise part. Okay, children. Make a note in your notebooks, submit it to your subject teacher. Okay, children. Thank you all. Stay home, stay safe, start reading. It's time. Thank you, children.